Welcome to episode number 2 of Let's Go RX, where we go all in with home gym CEOs. Today, for episode 2, our guest is Geoff Murphy. He's one of our affiliate Microgym owners and staunch allies in the home gym, Microgym space. So welcome, Geoff. If you could introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and your journey, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. Happy to be here.
Yeah, man.
I started lifting out of my home in 2018. Right after my son was born. And I built a bench out of 2x4s that I had laying around in my garage. And I picked up a super cheap barbell and some plates from Dick's Sporting Goods, and I just was working with that. Over the years, I've been able to upgrade and enhance the equipment into what it is today.
Awesome. That's sweet, man. So tell us about how you got introduced to this concept of microgym. What was it that was appealing to you? What excited you about the whole idea? And what was the first thing you did? How'd you get started?
Yeah. So this was actually a few years coming. So over the last 3-4 years or so, I've been digging more into mindset, personal development, entrepreneurial skills, and I was really trying to find, where can I kind of like put my flag down and something that I can do and create on my own. So I was looking at, can I sell on Amazon? Can I do an apparel company? Should I get into real estate, copywriting? So I've been looking over the last few years, what can I do? And I already had the gym here, but I didn't ever connect the two. In March, I was doom scrolling on Instagram and I saw an ad for Home Gym Con. I was like, okay, what the heck is that? So I clicked on it and I was like, oh, this is really cool. And dug deeper and deeper, and I saw a post with your face on it and the GoRX brand, and I was like turning a home gym into a business, and I was like, that's it. That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
I need to do right
Let's
there.
go.
Like that's how I can bring these two together. So I never really thought about that until I saw that post. So from there, within the next couple of days, I bought my tickets to Home Gym Con, and in a few weeks, I was there and we were connecting one-on-one in person, and it was super rad.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, dude. I know that struggle. The origin stories or the origin story of GoRX Fitness is actually pretty similar. And I'll tell it for people that don't know the story. So GoRX was first conceived as far as an idea in 2020. I was also looking for ways to create income for myself. I knew that I had a pretty nice home gym. This is actually one of the first connections I made in my mind was like, hey, I'm pretty passionate about fitness. I got a really great home gym. Maybe I can monetize my home gym. Maybe I can train people from my garage or just open it up for rent. And so in my research to find a platform that I could list my gym, I discovered that the one that existed, which was Air Gym, actually was out of business. And so their app wasn't working at the time. And so there was this space and this niche that was not filled. And so I thought, hey, why don't I try to do it? I knew nothing about starting a business. I knew nothing about software development, but got a large enough ego, I guess, maybe misplaced confidence, but enough of that. And I went for it. So in 2021 is when I formed GoRX. But this episode is not about me or us. This is about you. We connected the first time at Home Gym Con, which was an awesome experience for us, a great networking event, and an opportunity for us to tell our story. Tell us about your experience at Home Gym Con. What were some of your highlights, and are you going next year?
All right, without a doubt, I'm going next year. It was so cool. I had never seen anything like it. As I said, I've been working out in my own home gym for years, and I never knew that a community of people that were so passionate about fitness and doing it from home existed. So to be able to go and to see all these like-minded people who are this passionate, enthusiastic about it, and the different types of equipment and the vendors that all started out of a home gym was just so impressive to me. And it was a buzz that I was riding all week after the event. So it was an incredible time.
All right, let's go. So I want to dive in a little bit into your micro gym experience. So you're riding this high at Home Gym Con, and you were, I guess, pretty motivated at that point. That's at least how we were reading your energy at the time. What were some of the steps that you took in the beginning and some of the early pain points that you experienced as you were trying to navigate this whole thing.
Mhm. Yeah, so my gym was good enough for me at the
Hmm.
time and just me. But what I wanted to do was upgrade and make it a nice and inviting, professional looking space that people are going to want to come to. So one of the first things I did was purchase high quality gym floor tile. And I was able to get that in. It changes the whole aesthetic of the
Yep.
space, and
Yep.
it's safe.
Hmm.
Make sure no one's going to bust a kneecap doing Bulgarian split squats on your
Right.
concrete floor.
Yep.
And then also just the different avenues that you have to research to make sure that you're doing it right. And I will say GoRx was phenomenal in their support as, who to reach out to, what steps you need to take, and, where you are along your journey to launching a micro gym business. So I had to contact my county and my city. I did look for any local permits or certificates that I needed to do to get this open, insurance, everything like that to make sure this was done right. Um,
Yeah. So what why did you want to start with a microgym? Why'd you go this route versus, a few other opportunities out there for you just to list your gym on a platform? Like why go through all the trouble to start a business? I'm just curious from your perspective. Like there's other
mhm,
platforms out there. I'm sure that they've reached out to you. Why did you
mhm.
decide to start a microgym versus listing your gym for rent on another?
So this goes back to all the work I've been doing on myself in terms of, building my entrepreneurial mindset and my skill set. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I had been putting in a lot of work in building that, but not actually doing anything with it. So this was a perfect opportunity for me to flex those muscles and try to, take the head knowledge that I had and apply it to the real world. Let's see if I can do this. Let's see if I can build a website, if I can get my LLC, if I can do marketing and really take on that aspect of running a business for myself instead of just a post it and forget it type of thing. Um, I really have high hopes for what this can become, and I knew I wouldn't be able to get to where I want to be without going that route.
Yeah, awesome, dude. It's been so fun for us to watch the progress you've made. And you've had some recent milestones, some recent successes. You've only been a micro gym owner for a few weeks. Tell us about some of these milestones.
Yeah, so I do have one client that's coming over to train, and the super cool thing about that is she lives half an hour away.
Hmm.
So she's making the commitment to come over multiple times a week to get a workout in, and she's passing multiple gyms along the way. But she notices that there's something special here and what we're trying to build here and what it offers her. And she's willing to make that commitment and get her workout in and to get her workout in here with me at Eastside Iron and with Gorex.
No kid. Why do you think she's taking that? Going so far out of her way to go to Eastside Iron.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, she's definitely very driven and she's texting me all the time. Hey, what about this? What can I do at home? Um, and when I was initially talking to her, he's like, what's your history like with working out? Have you ever done any strength training? And no, she has no experience with it. So I think the whole idea of her going to like a CrossFit gym or a big box gym like Planet Fitness, LA Fitness, something like that, that's not going to be a good fit for her. She's literally never picked up a weight before. So for her to come here, she gets that private experience. She gets someone there to encourage her and to make sure she's doing it correctly and safely. And she's learning so much. And I think that that's where she finds the value in that is that she can come to a place that is open and accepting, non-judgmental, and there's no one else around.
That's awesome, man. And how did you reach her? Right. So you're about 30 minutes away. So I got to assume plus miles, maybe. She's driving through the city.
Mhm.
How did you actually reach her? How did she find you? What are some of the ways that you're getting your brand out there?
Yeah, so I've tried many different things, and it's basically just figure it out what works. I don't know what's going to work, so I'm just going to try everything. So I've tried everything from running Facebook ads to handing out flyers around the community. But I found her through the Nextdoor app, and I wasn't even paid advertisements. I was just posting consistently. And she responded to one of my posts saying that she was interested, and I just had to, work her through the sales process that I had been working on, and I was able to get her to come out and check things out and see if it's something that she wanted to continue with. And she's been super on point since then.
That's freaking awesome, man. That's so cool, dude. Tell us about your onboarding. So as a micro gym owner, it's probably going to look similar to a normal gym, but what makes your onboarding unique, and what are the things that what are the ways that you walk your lead and your clients through? So some of those steps that you take.
Yeah. So depending on what their schedule is like, if they want to schedule a call with me, we can do that first, and I can see what their goals are, what are they looking for, what their history with exercise and fitness has been, and to see if we would be a really good fit for them. And then from there, it's just inviting them to the gym. If I can get them to come in and check it out, I can probably get them to come back. So that's the way I like to work that. And it's also developing a relationship. These are real people with real goals, who want to see impact and change in their life. And I want to be the person to help them get there. So I think just actually caring and showing them that and being enthusiastic and hyping them up has been super helpful. And then, along the way, there's waivers and everything like that they need to sign to, make sure we're good on the legal front. I want her to get to a point in her life where she can do this on her own, and then she can make lasting, lifelong changes that will benefit her for the rest of her life.
I was talking to someone yesterday, and one of the conversations one of the questions they had are like, how do you manage risk? How do you manage safety? What are you doing, and how are you coaching people to prepare for those risks? So could you walk us through sort of the steps that you took to mitigate those risks? You mentioned waivers. What are some of the other things that you've done to sort of alleviate that concern for yourself? Because you are inviting people into your
Right. And it can be a little unnerving for some people, but I keep the rest of my home completely closed off. In the process of getting everything set up, I had to reach out to insurance companies. And so I was telling them about what I was doing, and they had some suggestions and some requirements. So one of the requirements was to get a panic button that someone could press besides their cell phone to call for emergency services. So I have that up in my gym. It's active. If something happens, if someone gets hurt, they can press that button and they will dispatch police and fire and ambulance, all that stuff to come check them out. I also have a camera in here to help keep an eye on things. If someone gets hurt, if the button gets pressed, I can check out the camera if I'm not there and see what's going on. The waivers that GoRx has on their platform available for affiliate gym owners to have are excellent, and I just used those, and I integrated my own business name into that, so they just signed those ones that were already built in. And then on top of that, just having good quality equipment. As I mentioned before, the flooring was a big one. That was step one for me to get that in, to make sure it was just a safe, non-slip, padded floor for people to use to not fall over, bang their knees, elbows, things like that.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, thanks for walking us through that. As you're chatting, I'm thinking, man, he's also got a full-time job. So how do you balance the two? How have you been working and marrying these two worlds and making it work for yourself?
What's balance? I mean,
yeah,
it is. It can definitely be tough, but because I'm so passionate about this, it's something I enjoy doing. So it really doesn't feel like work. It's something that fires me up. So right now, my 9 to 5 pays the bills and allows me to invest time and resources into building this business. And it's just something that I enjoy. My family knows that I'm doing this, and I have their full support. So I know my kids get excited, like, hey, I've got someone coming over to come check out the gym. Like, oh, that's awesome. That's so cool. So having their support has been fantastic. But it is a lot of work, and I'm not going to sugarcoat that. Like, I'm always working on, how can my website be better? How can my marketing be better? I got to get things out on social media, make sure I'm posting all the time, engaging with people, following up on text messages and leads. It's a lot of work. But I love it, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. How many hours a week would you say you dedicate to your micro gym right now? I imagine over time your systems, you'll have your processes in place, and it'll start on out and buffing. But
Hmm.
what are you committing right now?
I'd probably say somewhere between 10 and 15, 10 to
Hmm.
15, maybe more around there.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's pretty standard, especially in the startup phase. I'm at the point now where my gym is paying me a profit, and I probably spend, I don't know, 2.5 to 3 hours a week working on my micro gym. That's not
That's not a
including
bad return.
GoRx. Obviously, there are a bunch of tax breaks that you can take or take advantage of. There's tons of benefit that pays you in the long run. I mean,
Hmm.
I was talking to Peter Keller from Fringe Sport at Home Gym Con, and we've chatted on occasion since. And one of the things that he likes to say is when you start an LLC and you start purchasing and expensing, through your LLC, it's like taking a 40% discount on everything you purchase. So if you're a home gym owner, you have an established LLC, you're making purchases and expensing them, you're essentially getting a 40% discount on the purchases you make. I think that's super cool and a great way to think of it. And I've been a
Hmm.
beneficiary of that for the last 2 years. So it's been pretty cool. Talk to me about how your neighbors have felt about this. And you're part of an HOA, correct?
I am,
Okay,
right?
so how the hell did you figure that piece out? What were some of the steps you took to, get your HOA on?
Yeah, so my HOA, they do have a lot of rules. I can have up to four people in my garage for a home occupation at one time, which any more than that would be very crowded. So that's not even something that I want to get close to.
That's super
Um,
generous too. That's a
yeah.
really generous four at one time. Yeah, that's awesome.
Hmm. And then parking. They can park on the street. There's street parking throughout the neighborhood. There's cars parked on the street. So if anyone does come over to get a workout in, it's not like they're going to be disruptive because they're not going to be there all day. There's not a car being left out overnight, not anything like that. And then as long as it's not disruptive to the neighbors, it really doesn't pose an issue for me.
Hmm. That's awesome. And
Hmm.
have you talked to your neighbors? Have you invited them in? I'm curious. My neighbors are wholeheartedly supportive. There's only one of them that comes and walks over and uses the gym,
Hmm.
another occasionally, but they've been proponents since day one. And one of the things that I really tried to do was before I even formed my LLC, is I talked to my neighbors. I said, "Hey, this is what I'm hoping to do. I'm curious what your thoughts and feelings are on it." And I'll be honest, uh, that earned me a lot of points, neighborly
Hmm.
points, brownie points, if you will, because I took the time to address their concerns. And there weren't many, but one of them was like, I mean, they're 20 feet away. The neighbor on this side, they're 20 feet away, and I drop weights. I do power. I do Olympic weightlifting. I deadlift, and I'm dropping weights, bumper plates with my rubber flooring. It's sound that I enjoy very much. So they just were concerned about that being early, doing that in the early morning hours. So I bought crash pads and I use crash pads. What were some of their concerns and how did you address those? If you did have these conversations.
I do go for a walk just about
Hmm.
every night through my neighborhood for about half an hour, 45 minutes. And whenever I see people out, if they look like they're in athletic gear, if they've been on a jog, if they're walking, I try to mention what I've got going on here since it's right in the neighborhood. And everyone that I've spoken to has been really, really supportive, and they think it's a really cool idea.
Yeah, awesome. So what do you tell them about Eastside Iron? What's your pitch, right? Like what's the value for your neighbors? I'm curious, walk us through how you've thought of this and how you're positioning yourself, Iron.
Yeah, so when I see people out in my neighborhood, one of the things I like to mention is that it's right here. If you're out walking, you can get here.
Hmm.
So it's not like you have to hop in the car and drive 10, 15, 20 minutes down the road to go to a gym. So, the fact that they're out walking, I think is a really good value, um, because it's just going to save them time in their commute. And this neighborhood is full of families. And so if they wanted to come over, get a workout in first thing in the morning and walk back home, just down a few houses, that would probably help them a lot with their fitness goals because they're saving so much time. And that's one of the benefits for me, just as a dad. I can come in the morning, get my workout going, and then when my kids wake up, I can go in, make them breakfast during one of my rests, and come back out and finish up some sets. So that's super convenient, and I think that's the main driver for at least the people in my neighborhood is the convenience of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. I've a few of my clients have expressed similar sentiments. And one of the things that they enjoy most is just to have a place that they can work out. Some of them have used judgment free as one of the things. They've mentioned not people, I don't have to worry about people staring at me. People mention, I don't know how to use equipment, so I don't have to worry about how I look when I come in and use it. I get instruction. So I'm curious. I don't think I've ever asked this question to you, but I'll do it on the podcast. Why affiliate with GoRx versus doing it on your own?
Just the level of support that I got from you and from the team was incredible. Anytime I had a question about something, you guys were on it. Like, oh, go look here, or look into this. Make sure you do this, or I'd recommend that. And that was phenomenal because I knew what I kind of wanted to do, but I didn't know how. And so to hear from people who have actually been running successful, profitable home micro gyms on how to do this was really valuable to me. Like I said, I don't want it to just be, I put it up on a post like Craigslist or something like that, and then don't do anything with it. I want to learn all the ins and outs of running a business because there's going to be so much value. One, for my own business, but even beyond, it can open up doors and all sorts of different career opportunities.
Oh, for sure.
So I wanted the full experience.
Yeah, man. So full that now you're part of the team. People about what you do here and how that all unfolded. I could, but I want to hear it from your perspective.
Yeah, so that's been a wild ride too. So before we met in March, I had a silly little Instagram that was private, and it was just pretty much photos of the kids for my family. So realizing that I should probably put some stuff out on social media now that I'm doing this and get plugged into this like amazing community. So that's what I did. I created a new Instagram account and I started putting myself out there. I started connecting with people that I met at Home Gym Con, commenting on posts, liking things, resharing, and just, aligning myself with this home gym community. And I've learned a ton since then. Like, my first reel was rough, and they were rough for a while, and there's still a lot that I'm learning, but they've gotten so much better, and I really enjoy the opportunity to be so creative. So I was putting out consistent content, advertising my gym, trying to inspire and motivate people, and just hearing from you guys how much you liked it. You wanted to bring me on. And so now I get to help create content for GoRx and spread this micro gym revolution brand, and I'm super stoked for it.
Hell yeah, man. It's been a pleasure having you on the team. It's been 2 weeks now, and we've got a lot of stuff cooking already. This podcast is part of that. And I'm super excited to see what the kind of impact that we make on the industry over the years. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. So I'm going to wrap up in the next few minutes, but I wanted to get your take. So 2 questions. One, what would be advice that you provide people that are exploring this and might be on the fence? What would you tell them? And then 2, where can people find you?
Yeah, so first piece of advice would be to do your homework. As we've talked about already, running a home gym business out of your house comes with risks. And I know it gets brought up a lot in different communities on Facebook and Instagram. And they're not wrong. It definitely can be risky, but GoRx has provided solutions for that risk. And if you're willing to explore those solutions and take that on for the potential profit down the road, then I think it's worth looking into. And it's also worth doing right. So it's not something that you can really rush into. Do your homework, check with your county, check with your city, your HOA, make sure that everything is good to go before you jump into this.
All right. Awesome, man. So then appreciate that, because I wouldn't have said it any differently. It's quite literally how I would tell people, do your homework. And this is step 1, step 2, step 3. Okay. So last thing, how can people find you and where can they connect?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram at Garage Gym Geoff. That's garage_gym_Geoff, and it's Geoff with a G, Geoff. And then I also have a website, eastsideironindy.com. You can check that out there as well.
Yeah, especially if you're a gym goer, hit them up. Dude, such a pleasure to have you on the podcast. Such an honor to have you as guest number 2 for episode number 2, man. I'm so pumped to see what we can the kind of splash that we can make in this industry. I'm certain in the very near future, GoRX is going to be a global presence and disrupting the industry. And that's an exciting venture to be on. And I'm super glad and super grateful that you're a part of it, man. So thanks for jumping on, brother. I'll probably talk to you very soon.
All right, man. Sounds good. Thank you.